Dillon Brooks, the most hated player in the NBA today, and one of the main reasons why the Grizzlies are losing their playoff series against the 7th-seeded Los Angeles Lakers. All because this dude pissed off LeBron James by calling him old.
Lakers are making that run, they get it to 14. You and LeBron have that exchange. There are people out there that say maybe you shouldn't do that with one of the better players in the game. What were you thinking?
I don't care, he's old.
But now, Dillon is eating his words because the Grizzlies are now down, as of the recording of this video, 3-2. But before we figure out how Dillon became the most hated player in the NBA, let's take it back to the very beginning. Dillon Brooks, yup, that's his name, no middle name at all, just Dillon Brooks. Anyways, Dillon Brooks was born on January 22, 1996 in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. And Dillon played high school basketball for the now defunct Findlay Prep in Henderson, Nevada, the same exact high school where NBA bust Anthony Bennett played. Unfortunately, that's all I know about Dillon's high school basketball career because the dude doesn't really have much clips online about his time in high school, and his high school stats during his freshman to junior year are nowhere to be found at all, as in I looked for his stats for a good 2 hours. But I do know that Dillon averaged 8.4 points, 1.7 assists, and 3.1 rebounds a game, and shooting a great 58% from the field and 35% from 3 during his senior season of high school. I know, those stats are not impressive at all, but it wasn't the reason why colleges looked at him in the first place because they were mainly interested in him because of his amazing performances during the FIBA Americas Under-18 Championship, as Dillon would average 25.3 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 2.2 assists per game, shooting an amazing 45.5% from downtown. And that's why Dillon was widely considered as a 4-star recruit by all recruiting sites like ESPN, 24/7 Sports, and Rivals.com, getting offers from Oregon, Duquesne, New Mexico State, and Virginia Tech. And Dillon decided to play college basketball for Oregon and become a Duck. As a freshman, Dillon would average 11.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists per game and was named to the Pac-12 Conference All-Freshman team, and as a sophomore, Dillon would actually lead the Ducks to the Pac-12 Conference regular season title and a national top 10 ranking, as he was named to the first team All-Pac-12 and a third team All-American by the Sporting News, as Dillon would average 16.7 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 3.1 assists per game. As Dillon ended his sophomore season badly in the eyes of others after his great performance of scoring 22 points, as he pissed off Coach K and the rest of Duke in the March Madness tournament by disrespectfully scoring a 3 in the final seconds of Oregon's blowout win against Duke. It was so bad to the point where Coach K had to personally talk to Dillon after the game on why he did such a thing. And after the conclusion of the 2015-16 season, Dillon said that he would remain with Oregon for a 3rd season, but he suffered a foot injury in the summer of 2016 and did not play in Oregon's off-season trip to Spain. Dillon as a junior averaged 16.1 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 2.7 assists per game while shooting a good 40% from downtown in just 25 minutes played per game, as he was named the Pac-12 Player of the Year and named a 2-time first-team All-Pac-12 member. But even though he had an amazing offensive year at Oregon, NBA officials and scouts didn't really see him as a first-round talent, mainly because of his average body measurements and his behavior on the basketball floor, as Dillon tends to quickly pick up fouls and he becomes careless at times offensively. And some scouts would even say that Dillon's emotions get the best of him. So Dillon ended up becoming a 2nd-round pick that was drafted and selected 45th overall by the Houston Rockets, and his draft rights were immediately traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. On October 18, 2017, during the Grizzlies season opener, Dillon would score 19 points, the most points scored by a Canadian-born player in an NBA debut. Then on April 11, 2018, Mr. Brooks here would score a career-high 36 points along with 7 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals in a loss against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then in December of 2018, Dillon was thought to be involved in a failed three-way trade between Memphis, the Washington Wizards, and the Phoenix Suns, and the trade faltered over confusion between Dillon Brooks and his similarly named teammate Marshawn Brooks, who is still currently playing in China once again, as the Memphis front office did not intend to trade Dillon while other teams expected him and not Marshawn. Hence this joke from Game of Zones.
Marshawn Brooks.
Yes, at your
Okay, we traded for Dillon Brooks.
You were.
Damn it, they sent the wrong Brooks. House Grizzlies sent the wrong Brooks.
Anyways, Dillon would average a solid 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 1.6 assists per game during his rookie season. Then, on January 5, 2019, Mr. Dillon here suffered a ruptured ligament in his right big toe and underwent a successful surgery to repair it on January 11, 2019, as he would miss the remainder of the 2018-19 season with averages of 7.5 points and 1.7 rebounds a game. Dillon began the 2019-20 season as the Grizzlies starting shooting guard, and after averaging 16.1 points per game over the first half of the regular season, on February 5, 2020, he was awarded with a 3-year, $35 million extension with the Grizzlies, and of course, he signed it. On May 23, 2021, Mr. Dillon here made his NBA playoff debut, scoring a season-high 31 points along with 7 rebounds to help lead the Grizzlies to a Game 1 victory over the top-seeded Utah Jazz, and the Grizzlies would go on to get eliminated and lose the series in 5 games. Then, on December 19, he scored a career-high 37 points in a loss to the Portland Trail Blazers. Then, on January 8, 2022, during a win over the Clippers, Mr. Dillon here sadly suffered a left ankle injury, and the very next day, he was ruled out for the next 3 to 5 weeks with injury, and which was diagnosed as ankle pain. On April 16, during Game 1 of the first round of the playoffs, Mr. Dillon here scored 24 points in a loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. In Game 2 of the 2022 Western Conference Semifinals against the Warriors, Mr. Dillon here was assessed a flagrant 2 and ejected after he chased down Mr. Gary Payton II and hit him in the head when he was still in the air going up for a fast break layup, and Mr. Payton here fell hard and sadly fractured his left elbow. Dang, that's just brutal. And Dillon was suspended for Game 3 of the series because of it. And karma would end up sadly hitting the Grizzlies because they would go on to lose the series in 6 games. Then recently, on February 2, 2023, Dillon yet again was assessed with another flagrant 2 foul yet again and ejected yet again, this time for punching Donovan Mitchell in his itsy bitsy spider area. The very next day, the NBA suspended Dillon for 1 game without pay because of his actions, and then, on March 4, he was suspended for 1 game without pay for incurring his 16th technical foul of the season. Then, on March 17, Mr. Dillon here was fined $35,000 by the NBA after he shoved a cameraman to the floor during a game 2 days earlier against the Miami Heat. Then, on March 21, he was suspended for 1 game without pay yet again for receiving 2 more technical fouls, pushing his season total to 18 technical fouls for the season. That's just a lot of technical fouls. Recently, during Memphis' 2023 NBA playoff series against the Lakers, Dillon openly criticized LeBron for being quote-unquote old, further pissing off Lakers fans and pretty much the rest of the league, and most especially LeBron himself. And Dillon was ejected yet again after committing a flagrant 2 foul yet again just 17 seconds into the second half of Game 3 because of hitting LeBron in the crown jewels. As of the recording of this part of the video, the Grizzlies have officially been eliminated, and those 4 wins would have been prevented if Dillon didn't piss off LeBron. Because clearly everyone in Memphis is doing their job except him. Ja is playing well through injury, Desmond Bane is scoring 25 to 30 points plus a night, but all that Dillon needs to do is contain LeBron and hit some shots, and this is coming from a Lakers fan. And I heard that Dillon said this ahead of tonight's Game 6. He said, "I'm used to a certain standard for myself. One of these games I'm going to break out for 3 or 4 threes and change the game." Bro, You're only averaging 10 points a game this series, shooting a terrible 30% from the field and an absolute atrocious 21.6% from downtown. As far as I'm concerned, Dillon is contained by LeBron, not vice versa. But thanks to Dillon, LeBron was extra motivated to place the Grizzlies away, and he did, with a brutal final score of 125 to 85. As Mr. Dillon here would only score 10 points yet again. And maybe if Dillon didn't talk smack about LeBron in the first place, his performance in the playoff series would have been completely different, because he would have concentrated on himself and the success of the Grizzlies instead of wasting his time on criticizing LeBron. And this series would have been a gentleman's battle between two talented Western Conference teams, but instead, Dillon made it personal, and it costed Memphis the series. So Dillon, I hope you learned your lesson, because one of the biggest lessons in the NBA today is to not piss off any star, most especially LeBron Raymond James. And I hope you use this playoff experience as a learning lesson to concentrate on yourself and the success of your team rather than criticizing others, because this whole villain scenario could have been avoided, and it was created by you. GG's to Ja, GG's to Desmond and the rest of the Grizzlies except Dillon, because that was a great series to watch. But Dillon, please don't criticize any star or anybody ever again unless you can back up your talk. And I hope you improve your game and your behavior, because those are the necessary steps needed to take your game to the next level. That's all you need to do. And if you do so, maybe the fans will like you again. That's a big ass maybe. Nothing personal, Dillon. That's just my take, bro. Nothing personal. I hope you ladies and gentlemen enjoyed today's video about Mr. Dillon Brooks, and make sure to hit the like button and make it turn blue to show me that you actually enjoyed today's video. And don't forget to hit that amazing red subscribe button to join this amazing, growing basketball family, as I produce and upload the best new basketball videos for you every single Saturday, and I do not want y'all to miss it, so click the notification bell. God bless, stay safe, and enjoy your weekend with your family and friends while watching and playing basketball wherever you are, and I shall see you all face to face in our regular season ender with my Seattle Supersonics face to face next week. Until next time, goodbye.